The sirens didn't go off. Not a single one. When the EF3 tornado ripped through our small Midwestern town last spring, we had less than 5 minutes to duck for cover and no warning. I was helping my elderly neighbor down the basement stairs when I realized something was horribly off. I'd lived here 30 years. I knew what a tornado sky looked like, and I knew that when the wind shifts like that, we should have heard the sirens blaring all over town. But it was silent. Too silent. 3 people were injured that day. One of them was my wife. A falling tree shattered our front porch and pinned her leg under the rubble. As I carried her out, drenched in rain and shaking with rage, I made a promise right then: someone was going to answer for this. Turns out, someone already knew. A quiet rumor had been floating through the neighborhood for weeks that the HOA board had been cutting costs and reducing unnecessary noise pollution. That's code, folks. Code for someone decided tornado sirens were just too loud and annoying for their Saturday brunches and garden yoga. And it didn't take long before fingers pointed at the culprits, the Karen sisters. 2 well-dressed tyrants, Linda and Cheryl, had somehow weaseled their way into every corner of our HOA, you know the type. Matching haircuts, pearls, and a nose for control. They ran the HOA meetings like courtroom trials, silenced anyone who dared oppose them, and had recently implemented quiet hours that even included limiting lawnmower use past 4 p.m. The kicker: Cheryl's husband was the one who had access to the tornado siren relay system. And conveniently, the siren closest to our street had been disabled for maintenance the day before the tornado hit. I stormed into the next HOA meeting, documents in hand, rage in my chest. I had copies of every complaint filed about the sirens being shut off, timestamps showing system access from Cheryl's husband's account, and 3 statements from neighbors who overheard Linda bragging at the country club that those awful sirens won't ruin our peace anymore. But they smirked. Right to my face. Cheryl sipped her tea like this was just another Tuesday. Linda cocked her head and said, "We did what was best for the community. If people can't take a little initiative and check the weather, that's not our fault." I saw red. My wife was still on crutches. A kid 2 streets over nearly died in his trailer. And they were treating it like a noise complaint. I could have sued them right then. I had a lawyer friend draft the lawsuit within the week. But I wanted more than courtrooms and settlements. I wanted consequences they couldn't ignore. So, I did something better. I called in a favor from an old buddy who worked in disaster response for the state. He pointed me to an agency that had been developing high-powered tornado alert systems for rural county systems designed to override standard sirens, reach farther, and break through any noise ordinances. We're talking 150 decibels. That's louder than a jet engine. And legal under federal emergency standards. 2 months later, after a campaign to replace the outdated sirens with the newer system, and with overwhelming community support, I oversaw the installation of a federal sound cannon right outside the HOA clubhouse, which just so happened to be next door to Cheryl's backyard. The first test happened on a sunny Tuesday morning. 10 a.m. sharp. The blast could be heard across 3 counties. Windows rattled. Birds scattered. And Linda dropped her mimosa on the patio screaming, "My ears." It was glorious. They tried to stop me, of course. Filed noise complaints. Accused me of harassment. Claimed it was a personal attack. Cheryl even threatened a countersuit, claiming emotional distress. But the law was on my side this time. Emergency infrastructure is protected. Public safety trumps HOA preferences. And the community was done with their nonsense. A special vote was held. Both sisters were removed from the board in a landslide. Now, here's the twist. A week after the cannon went up, I got an anonymous tip. A woman named Danielle reached out to me online. Said she used to date Cheryl's husband long before he was married. She sent me screenshots of texts he'd sent just days before the tornado. Messages where he joked about finally shutting those sirens off so Cheryl could nap in peace. Said it was worth the risk. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. Cheryl and Linda are now facing an ongoing lawsuit from several families for endangering public safety, and the city is reviewing possible criminal charges. The once pristine lawn signs outside their homes that read, "Proud HOA Leader," have been yanked up and replaced with, "For Sale." They thought they were untouchable. Above the law. Smarter than the rest of us. But when you gamble with people's lives for the sake of your comfort, there's always a reckoning. So what do you think? Were they just entitled, or criminally reckless? Let me know where you draw the line between comfort and safety in the comments below. And if you think stories like this need to be heard, hit that subscribe button for more real-life justice served louder than any siren.